Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the installment of Scott's Selections here for Monday, May 31st. We're getting today's play of the day. Quick recap of what happened yesterday. We had a nice winner in the NBA with the Knicks and the Hawks under 209.5 and minus 110 on BetMGM. Really dicey. Only 2 points in the final 2 minutes, and the game landed at exactly 209. I've mentioned in the past, I'm going to mention it again. It's really important to shop your lines. I mentioned how it was at 208.5, pretty much market wide. I found 209.5 available at BetMGM. Took it, and it turns out that point was the difference maker as the game landed at exactly 209. So nice winner for us on a little bit of a hot streak, and we'll look to continue it here on Monday. And for the play of the day, we're going to be sticking with the NBA. It's going to be in a matchup between the Philadelphia 76ers and the Washington Wizards, and the play that is going to be on the Sixers, -8 and minus 110 at MGM. The time of recording of 12:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Covering why I like the Sixers in the spot. First of all, looking at this series, it's going to sound pretty similar to how I described Saturday's play with the Bucks -4.5. Sixers are up 3-0, and they have absolutely demolished the Wizards in the series. They have won each of the last 2 games by at least 25 points. You look at Philadelphia offensively, this team has been phenomenal. And Washington, which was a terrible defensive team all season long, has looked arguably worse in the playoffs. Sixers have scored at least 120 points in every game in this series. They're shooting 54.5% from the floor as a team. Embiid is shooting 67.4%. Tobias Harris is shooting 57.1%. And Simmons is shooting 61.8%. So all 3 of them are getting whatever they want offensively. And Washington seems to just be giving away wide open shots pretty much every possession. We knew Washington was bad in the regular season. I wasn't exactly expecting them to improve. But allowing an entire team to shoot over 54% from the floor is really just insane. And I really don't see how Washington is suddenly supposed to fix their defensive woes, especially against a Philadelphia team that has a lot of offensive firepower. Now, looking at the offense for Washington, you can argue, well, they got past the regular season because of their great offense, even though their defense was terrible. And the issue here is that the offense has kind of fallen apart against Philadelphia in the last 2 games. The Wizards have scored less than 104 points in each of their last 2 games. So once again, keep that in mind. They're allowing at least 120 points in every game, and they've scored less than 104 in their last 2 games, which explains why the Sixers have really just put the Wizards in a body bag for the last couple of games. Now, looking at the shooting percentages for the Wizards as a team, they are shooting 44.9% from the floor, so roughly 10% worse than the Sixers. You look at Westbrook, I know he has a bad ankle, had a triple-double in the game after it anyway, but he's only shooting 40% from the floor. He's been extremely inefficient. We already know that Westbrook tends to settle for a few too many jump shots, and that's really not been working out against the Sixers, especially with that elite defensive backcourt with Simmons, and whenever they throw Tybalt in there as well, who's had a very solid series defensively. Beal's been good, shooting 48.1% from the floor, but with Westbrook shooting about 40% and them having absolutely no answers at all for the 76ers, just in how, I'd say, phenomenal that offensive group is with Embiid, who gets whatever he wants, shooting over 67%. I think the Wizards are just going to pack it up and go home. You can look at some potential motivation spots and talk about how the Wizards are going to need to win this game because it's a must-win and blah, blah, blah. I don't really care. You look at the Heat, that was a must-win game too. In Game 4, they still lost by double digits. You looked at the Wizards. Are you trying to tell me Game 3 was not a must-win situation? Because I think we all know that if the Wizards ended up going down 3-0, it'd be kind of screwed. And guess what happened? They went down 3-0, and they got absolutely buried and lost by 29 points. So, no, I don't expect the Wizards to have a last-second, I'd say, great performance before they end up losing the series. I think they get buried again, and I think we all know Scott Brooks is not exactly the best coach in the league. I don't trust Scott Brooks making adjustments, and I think you will see the Sixers once again get up early, probably score 120-plus, 130-plus points, and win this game by double digits. So, for that reason, I think the spread is a little bit too low, which is why it's going to be the play of the day. The play of the day, once again, here for Monday, May 31st, is going to be on the Sixers, -8 and minus 110 at BetMGM. Bye, everyone.